wondering if you've accepted Jesus Christ in your life.
Have you ever gotten so pissed off at a series to the point where you either just drop it or you just can't bring yourself to drop it, so you just end up watching or reading more and more of the series to the point where you just want to punch a hole in the wall? Well, for this series, The Land of the Giant Insects, that's what I want to do, because I couldn't bring myself to drop it, yet I hate this series with a burning passion. Now, for those of you who haven't watched or read The Land of the Giant Insects, let me summarize it for you. Basically, it's a group of high schoolers who wind up on an island after their plane crashed, and they end up on a land inhabited by giant insects, as the name of the title goes, go figure. And basically, they have to survive until rescue comes, and so they need to survive within a given time. Now, the animated movie is much different to the manga, although when it comes down to it, I'm going to point out some differences between the animated movie and the manga. After all, it only consists of like 5 or 6 chapters in the series, but overall, I'm going to try to spoil as little as possible. Now, I don't detest this series for its concept whatsoever. In fact, I think the concept of trying to survive on an island inhabited by giant insects trying to kill you is fucking amazing. I love concepts like that, similar to like Walking Dead, Lost, or Jurassic Park, where you have to not only survive against an unknown force, but the atmosphere in general. I think that's fucking amazing. I instead have 2 other reasons why I fucking hate this series so much. The first one being on how the writer portrays these characters. They make it as if these characters belong in a stereotypical horror movie for some reason, with the personalities given to them. I mean, only 3 or 4 of them are actually competent, while the rest just act like total fucking dipshits all the time. I mean, out of the 44 chapters given in the series, 15 of them consisted of the group fighting over who should be leader, which I found to be extremely annoying and obnoxious. I mean, I am leader. You should obey me. Nah, Chitose should be leader. Nah, Sensei should be leader. It's like, shut the fuck up, alright? Now, I don't mind if it's 1 or 2 chapters where one character actually proves themselves to be capable of leadership so that the group can survive on the island. But if it's a third of the entire series, that's just retarded, alright? It's really, really annoying. Now, in regards to 3 or 4 of them actually being competent, what I mean by that is the fact that they are taking survival as top priority, whether it's to themselves or to the group. For some reason, most of the characters in the series don't take that as top priority for some reason. You have the main protagonist, Mutsumi Orbe, who is pretty much a bug scientist at this point, getting discriminated by some of the people in the group for having a fucking bug interest. Like, really? Are you serious right now? It's as if you are in a dire situation and you have someone in your group who knows how to get out of that situation, but instead of following their directions so your chances of survival increases, you instead make fun of them for having that knowledge, alright? That's so stupid. That really is fucking stupid. Oh my god. When it comes to a death of a character, whether it's from the giant bugs or the actions of a character indirectly causing that death to happen, they have a tendency to blame someone else for what happened. I mean, that feels pretty normal, right? But what makes it worse is when you have one of these characters intentionally leaving a character to go die, and then they make it as if it never fucking happened. I mean, I'm surprised that they weren't cast out of the group to go fend for themselves. But instead they're allowed in the group for some reason, as if, oh, we need you in the survival situation even though you betrayed and tried to kill us. There are 2 scenes in particular in which one of the characters intentionally locked out some of the group members with the most half-ass excuses for some reason. One of them was actually included in the movie, although it was slightly different compared to the manga, as it didn't lead to the death of a character in the movie, but in the manga instead. In the movie, the group was trying to take refuge in a hospital, and one of the characters had a parasite which ended up summoning this giant insect coming after them. And one of the characters locks out 3 of the characters in a hospital, leaving them to fend off the bug outside. In the movie, they survived, but in the manga, it led to the death of one of these characters, to which had some big impact, as this character was intentionally locking them out with the excuse of, oh, we think you have a parasite. I mean, sorry, you are just going to have to die. I mean, obviously being intentional with this half-ass excuse. Another instance of this happening actually occurred in the manga, where the group was trying to avoid a swarm of termites coming at them. So they either had to run away, hide, and or fend off these termites. And 2 of the characters attempted to seek refuge in an abandoned cabin. However, it was already inhabited by some of the members of the group, and they'd refused to remove the barricade so they could let them in, saying that they can't risk damaging the barricade. So, and we can't risk damaging the barricade because the insects will get in. And the barricade is literally just like a table with like a couple bowls on top of it. And they even like had the remark saying, oh, we can fix the barricade, just please let us in. I mean, we're not gonna survive out here. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to die. And it's so obnoxious because it actually led to the death of one of these characters, and one of them being actually competent in focusing on survival, which I found to be really fucking annoying. It really, really pissed me off and made me hate these characters even more than I already have. I mean, it's so obnoxious, and when it comes down to it, it's kind of hard to focus on these characters when the majority of them just consist of detestable pieces of shit. And it makes it worse when they're back in the group after the aftermath of what they did. And it's so annoying! It's like, oh, you survived? Oh, cool. I mean, we're just gonna forget that this whole thing ever happened, right? Alright, what do we do next? It's like, really? If this was Walking Dead, if this was fucking Lost, if this was even like Lord of the Flies or some shit, they would have been just gone. Or they would have been just dead. I think one of the characters would have just ended up killing them. I mean, I've seen Walking Dead where a character just straight up betrays one of them, and yeah, they just get fucking hit in the head with a machete, dead. Yeah, these characters should be fucking dead after betraying them. How the fuck are they let back into the group? It's so fucking obnoxious. Jesus. I say send them to the lab. Send them to the lab, I say. These guys deserve to be in the lab, alright? Send them into the lab. And maybe they should just die from crabs. They should be attacked by giant fucking crabs, alright? Yeah, they're gonna die from crabs. The second reason on why I dislike this series is the fact that there is just a lot of unnecessary promiscuous activity going on, especially at times where it just shouldn't apply whatsoever. Now, I don't mind sexual activity happening in horror survival series or any other series in general. I mean, it happens all the time, and as a professional hentai connoisseur, I mean, I've pretty much gotten used to the fact that stuff like this occurs. Although, there's a time and place for it to happen. And when it does happen, as the reader reading this series, my reaction to this and to what occurs when it comes to sexually promiscuous activities is just, why? Why now? Why now of all times? Some of the scenes are just so unnecessary and so out of character to the point where it just makes you really fucking angry, alright? It just makes you want to just punch a fucking hole in the fucking wall, alright? There is a scene where Mutsumi was leading the group to a particular building where they have a better chance of being rescued. And on that path that they were taking, they had to go through a particular bug's nest where they have to be extremely cautious while traveling on this path so the bugs won't be able to detect them. While Mutsumi went on her own to go and attract the bugs to a particular direction away from the group of people she's trying to help survive, one of the members in the group just straight up fucking rapes her. Yeah, just straight up rapes and molests her. Like, why? Why now of all times? You have bugs that are literally trying to kill you, and the first thing that comes to mind is sex. Like, I swear, The author is jerking off. Like, this is some sort of fetish of his. I swear. This guy is jerking off while writing this story. It's so obnoxious. Like, and what makes it worse is that, like, he's allowed back in the fucking group. Like, why? Why is this? It's so unnecessary to the point where you can't even take this series seriously anymore. It's like I'm reading a really bad fucking doujin where this occurs. I mean, I'm here to see who would survive, not for a fucking hentai. Jeez. And what makes it worse is that when she gets saved by Kai and Chitose, two of the people in the group that are actually competent, they make the aftermath of the situation out to be nothing. Literally, Mutsumi doesn't have much of an emotional scene after being raped and molested. I mean, you see a few tears, and then she goes back to her normal self. I mean, yeah, given she's a pretty strong woman, but it's just so unnecessary after what just occurred. I was genuinely pissed off about this scene. And keep in mind that this wasn't the only time something similar to this occurred. I think almost every character in this series goes through some sort of sexual situation, and I think only one or two of the scenes actually make fucking sense. The rest are just unnecessary bullshit, and this is the reason why I can't take this series as serious as it's supposed to be. It really just makes me want to punch a fucking hole in the wall. Overall, I give this series a 2.5 out of 10, or in Death Road stats, this face. Now, I promised myself that I would not drop this series, so I guess every month I'll torture myself, but what I'm going to say to the author is that he needs to be sent to the fucking lab, alright? I swear, the author just is jerking off while writing the story, and it really ticks me off because it's a survival story. It doesn't need any of this, like, sexual activity or the amount of characters just completely, rapidly going out of character because of quote-unquote extreme situations, not focusing on survival as top priority. I mean, I swear, this series, I can't take seriously anymore. It really makes me angry. Anyways, that's going to be doing it for this review. The Island of Giant Insects is a terrible series that was poorly executed, and I think it's debatedly worse than Sword Art Online. Later.